Hello everyone, this is 102 back again with a very unexpected review video. So I know you were probably expecting the layout evolution video to come next, but yes, don't worry, I am working on that, so don't worry. But anyway, this review will be on something special that I recently got in the mail all the way from Japan. This will be the first time I'll be looking at this stuff and the first time I'll be owning this stuff. It is the Plarail Go Thomas Nia, Whiff, and Bruno set. So yeah, I got this recently, and it's basically a 3-pack which features a Nia with a cool looking face and a motor, a push-along Whiff, and a push-along Bruno. And it's part of the Go Thomas series. And then over in the corner we can see the dynamic bridge. And the contents are that it's a train and ages 3 and up. And over in the corner we have the promo there. And honestly, I just want to say something. When they started doing like the new motorized style guide for like the Japanese stuff, on the late CGI stuff, it just looked weird. The motorized style guide that like the US uses and stuff with all the rivets and stuff, I feel like it works best on like the All Engines Go stuff in the Japanese merch, because it honestly fits more the All Engines Go style than it does the CGI style with the Japanese merch. But anyway, here's the top of the box where we can see Nia, Whiff, and Bruno with his special back coupling. Then we get Nia and a little description, Bruno, and Whiff. On the side of the box, we have all 3 characters. The other side, we get promos of everyone. There's Whiff, there's Nia. I'm not sure if that's a new promo or not. And then we got Bruno, which is a Mystery of Lookout Mountain promo. On the bottom of the box, we get this. We see them all connected together, and then we see the dynamic bridge. And then on the back of the box, we get this. So up in the corner here, we have the contents, and it's just Nia, Whiff, and Bruno. And then over here, we have the info saying that you can put Bruno on backwards. Then we have the battery instructions on how to put the batteries in, the extra warnings, how to couple the trains together. The fact that you can swap the chassis, which honestly looks cursed on everyone else except for Nia. I mean, it doesn't look too bad on Bruno, but Whiff with orange wheels looks absolutely awful. I will give you my 2 cents on what they should have did with this pack once I get to looking at Whiff and stuff. But then we get their promos. We get the dynamic bridge. Mentions it there. Not sure what that warning says. And then we get all the extra little info, and then the production date of 2024. But yeah. Let's get to opening this box now. Alright, coming in for the unboxing. So, we have one piece of tape right here. And then everything should just come right out. I'm honestly not sure what this is. I think this used to be on a little slip, but it's on both sides. Like to receive a free gift from Tomy, maybe. I believe this used to come in a little slip with playsets and stuff. But the cardboard should slide on out like so. We can get rid of this box now. And then we have the engines inside. We'll pull out Nia first. Now I'll pull out Whiff. And lastly, Bruno. And then we have this little instruction sheet, which my guess explains, it explains about the spring and where it's located. And interestingly, it shows the newer chassis, which is funny because these flat drives that these engines use don't have this spring. So I don't understand why they'd include this when the flat drive units don't have the spring in them. Like it mentions how you shouldn't put the battery in like that, or else your spring will end up getting all bent up and it might wreck the battery. Then it mentions the backside where you can contact Tucker or Tommy for service, and how not to put the train in your hair, and how you can get spare parts like traction tires and couplings. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's unwrap each character from their plastic bag. So there's Nia. Next comes Whiff. This thing feels light as a feather. Oh my gosh. Come on. Oh, the tape is stuck. Okay. Alright, there's Whiff. I should aim this down. Okay. And lastly, we have the star of the show. Let me just make this easier. There we go. Bruno. Alright, so now that we have all three characters out of the box, let's take a look at them one by one. Starting with Nia. So this is the Plarail Go Nia. The special version. There's one difference about this compared to the normal version. I sadly don't have the normal version, as this is my first time getting the Go stuff. This version, for some reason, doesn't have the back of her coal bunker painted black. They just left it orange for some reason. Because on the standard release, it's actually painted black. But here's her side. All this detail is one big sticker. On the back, we have a little lamp, which is nice. We got some painted buffers. Got our coupling hook. Here's the other side with another big sticker. Also, another thing I should point out is that for some reason, they decided to use the CGI styled wheels with like the spokes and everything. Even on the sticker wheel, they decided to go with the CGI style wheel. I wonder, the way this looks, it looks like it was maybe animated by Nelvana. So basically, either A, they took the wheels that were on, they took the render of the wheels that were on the Gordon toy, the motorized railway Gordon from Whiteout, or they just asked Nelvana to animate a brand new wheel. It's one of those two options they did. But like, I find it so weird they used the CGI wheels instead of they could have easily used their bullet train wheels and like just use those. Like, the only wheel that looks right and sort of like an egg style is the big cog one. The giant cog used to work on the special playsets like the Loop-de-Loop or Adventure Peak or even Dynamic Bridge. But yeah, the engines also have these huge flanges on their wheels so that they can also work on those crazy stunt sets. So that way, when they go into the Loop-de-Loop, they can stay in the air. Or when they go down the waterfall, the Dynamic Bridge, they won't fall off. Or, why did I said waterfall Dynamic Bridge? I meant waterfall of Lookout Mountain. Or they go up the Dynamic Bridge and they won't crash to the ground or anything like that. But yeah, that's why they have this giant gear and these giant cog things. These giant pegs to keep them from staying in the tracks and not falling out. And then these things are painted, and then here's that determined smirk from Nia. Also, another thing I just noticed is these pistons. The top half is orange, the bottom half is red. Wow. It's even like that on this side. But yeah, and then we have the on-off switch. And then we have the space for a front coupling. Anyway, let's pop some batteries in her. Actually, wait. Before I pop a battery in her and see if she works, there's one more thing we need to do. We need to compare it to the motorized variant of Nia. And so I don't have a standard release, so the closest we have to the normal release is the Beach Nia, and then the closest we have to normal livery is the talking one. So yeah, firstly, we can see there is a massive size difference with this one and the motorized one. Second of all, I think the motorized one got the shape a little better. Cause like with this one, the motorized one, we have a actual cab that actually sticks out. And like we have like the window that presses in. This is just one big sticker with like a cab that curves back. I honestly feel like yeah, the motorized is definitely winning a little bit. I actually kind of like how long this is on the Plarail one though. It kind of reminds me of the CGI one a bit. Another thing I noticed is that on the motorized one, this thing is slanted upwards, like it slants back. Well, this one I think is just flat. Yeah, this one's just flat. And then, I mean, with this one, it kind of looks like she has orange stripes in the middle there because they put like indents in between there. But this one, it says like all there as just painted. And it kind of looks like they gave, I know this is meant to be one long piece, but they split the piece there. But anyway, here's the back. I guess there's one improvement over the Plarail one is that it has the little lamp back there. They both have the coal. The Plarail one doesn't have as much coal, so they could hide the, so they didn't need to hide the back or anything. But yeah, that's the comparison. Now with the talking one. The talking one has a bigger cab. So this one is kind of more size-wise accurate. Also the piston is completely red on this one. Oh, this one's like a half red, half orange. I'm trying to think what this face is based off of on the Plarail one. I feel like they used it for motorized, but it's more of in the Japanese style and not the actual animated style that the actual show uses. But yeah, that was the side-by-side comparison of the Nias. So now let's fit a battery in her. All right, here's that screw shot that everyone loves. All right, see, here's the top. Look. There is no spring in this flat drive unit, so I don't understand why they included that warning, because there's no spring on the flat drive units. And I'm gonna give a little complaint about these. These flat drive units are like probably my least favorite Plarail drive unit, as they are like the ones that break the easiest. I don't know why, but that's the experience I've had with them, is that they break the easiest anyway. Yep, she runs like a beaut. Also, here's the inside of the cover. Looks like you'd probably take Nia's smoke box off. Let's get that screw back in. And there she goes. So yeah, that was Nia. Now let's take a look at the next character, which is Whiffy Woo. So yeah, here is Whiff. Here's his front. Here's his nice little face. I just want to say, I kind of like this face more than the standard motorized one. He's also got a little lamp here. Here's his side. Also, it might just be me. I don't know, because I don't have Thomas. It kind of looks like they reused, they just reshaped the Thomas mold to make Whiff. But honestly, I don't think they did, because Thomas would have had stripes around here-ish, and Whiff doesn't. But yeah, oh yeah, he's also got a front coupling, because he's not motorized. He's got the painted buffers, and then the side, and he's got the little dirt marks, because he's been doing with his recycling and garbage. He's got only 4 wheels instead of 6. Because that's, for some reason, because they just reused this undercarriage from the other 3-pack, which was the Percy Diesel Kana one. Yes, Percy Diesel Kana. Where they all had gray wheels. I will get to talking about that in just a second. Here's the back. We have the little lamp and more painted buffers. And then the coal bunker. Here's the other side, which looks pretty much the same as the other side. And also I forgot to mention this is one big sticker. Here's the top. The striping is actually 3-dimensional as it pops out from him. And then we have the space for the on-off switch. As you can swap Nia's chassis and give it to Whiff. And honestly, I'm about to show you this and it looks absolutely awful. Let me undo Whiff. I don't know why I screwed Nia back in. I should have just kept the screw off of Nia, but here's Whiff's chassis all by itself. Now I'm gonna unscrew Nia. Get ready to see how bad this looks. Look at this. This looks so bad, bro. Why, oh why? I do not like the look of this. It looks so bad. Whiff with orange wheels does not look right. So here's my 2 cents. This is how I would have done this. In my opinion, I probably would have promoted. If you remember that other 3-pack they made with the Percy, Diesel, and Kana, the one they made like at the end of 2022 where everyone had gray wheels, I honestly would have just promoted that on the back and been like, you can get this pack and swap the wheels on that, because then you can have a motorized Whiff with gray wheels. And honestly, the gray wheels wouldn't look too bad on the Whiff here, because then you won't have to deal with Whiff having orange wheels that look very out of place. Instead, have them with gray wheels that look a lot nicer. I mean, it won't be perfect, but at least the gray wheels will look a lot nicer than the orange, right? And I'm surprised no one has done this. Not even the Japanese reviewers have done this, where they take that chassis and put it on Whiff for some reason. They haven't done that. But yeah, also I have to mention, yes, he also has the CGI wheels. And an interesting new rivet kind of way of putting the wheels on. I mean, this side is normal-ish. But this side, they got a new style of rivet that they put into these things. But yeah, that was Whiff. And now, we're gonna compare him to the motorized one. Alright, so first thing I can spot is that, I honestly kind of like this face a bit more than this one. As it just looks a lot more friend-shaped. Also, the motorized one has black glasses, while the Plarail one has gray ones. Another difference is that he's got cab windows, while the motorized one doesn't. And then the motorized one also has whistles. The talking one actually got rid of the whistles too, which is interesting. Then here's the sides. Honestly, I'm still leaning towards the motorized one a little bit. Because the shape looks a lot nicer. I mean, don't get me wrong, Plarail did do a decent job at Whiff, honestly. Whiff's one of the better looking ones, but honestly, motorized nailed it miles better. And he's got like different colors of garbage on his side. The motorized one. I'm just realizing look at the cab shape. That versus that. Look at that. Squarish, long, rectangular. I'm 100% they slightly retooled Thomas's mold to make Whiff. But yeah, the backs, and then the other side, and the top. Yeah, look at how long that cab is. That is not right at all. But yeah, that was the comparison of the Whiff And now let's look at the main reason why I got this pack. And that is Bruno the brake car. So yeah, this was the main reason why I got this pack. And first thing I'm gonna tell you is that this is probably one of the only things I don't like about this model. If you look up here, you can see there is a white rectangle from his face. But if we look at the box here, you can see that that white rectangle is red. Why? Why did they have to put this thing here and make it white? I can understand it was because it's part of the face mold, but seriously, you make it red in all the promo pictures, only to give us a white rectangle that sticks out like a sore thumb? Are you kidding me? That's probably my only big nitpick with this Bruno. That sticks out like a sore thumb. Anyway, let's get to finally looking at this thing. So here's his face. It's pretty nice face. I can move the box. He has little railing, and then his buffers, and his little lamp, which is a sticker. Here's his side. He's got his little step ladders. He's got his red wheels, which are the CGI style, by the way. He's a bit squish-squash because he's long because he needs to fit that motor. And then his top is squish-squashed because they needed to fit him under the Plarail risers and stuff. And then we get to the back, which is pretty plain, honestly. We've got his door detailing, but we don't have those little stripe details that he has. Like, they're just non-existent. And then on the back, he's got the front coupling that is usually seen on tender engines. And they did this because they knew that he usually rides backwards. So they decide, why not give him the tender coupling so you can hook him up properly? So basically, Bruno's like the works unit. So you can couple him up in either direction. You can couple him up facing forwards, or you can couple him up facing backwards. I mean, that's a cool touch. I love that. Also, because Bruno's so squish-squash, he is missing his top windows. But yeah, there's the back, there's the other side. It's got his 43. Then on the top, we got, at least they included those little details, and then he's got his little cupola, and then the on-off switch hole. And speaking of that, we're gonna unscrew him and see how he looks with Nia's orange wheels. Also, here's his inside. I forgot to show you Whiff's inside. This actually looks pretty good. So you can unscrew those, and probably that to undo his roof, and then you can unscrew those to undo his face. Also, yes, I already prepped Nia and unscrewed her. And honestly, Bruno looks a little weird. It's a bit weirder in the camera because for some reason he's showing up more orange than red. But like, this honestly doesn't look too bad. This doesn't look too bad. It looks a little weird, but it doesn't look too bad. It's not as bad as Whiff. I feel like I'd prefer the gray wheels though, but that's just me. And then here's Bruno's chassis. You can give him the chassis back. But yeah, that was Bruno. And now we're gonna compare him to the other Brunos. I feel like we'll start off with the obvious one, and that is the motorized. So first thing I can notice is that the motorized actually has like all the wood plank details. I mean, this one actually did try to do it, as they tried to do it up at the top there. But honestly, the white rectangle ruined that. I mean, they had it good, and then they ruined that whole wood detailing with that white rectangle. But yeah, the Plarail one, the Plarail face looks nice, as well as the motorized face. Honestly, this one's a lot taller, so you can squeeze more onto it. But this one shows like two sides of the lamp, while this one just shows one. I mean, you can see the other side, sort of. Here we got the sides. The motorized one isn't looking as squashed as the Plarail one, because it's motorized. Then the Plarail one looks long because it's all squashed. If it wasn't squashed, it'd probably look nice like this one. But yeah, they're like around the same length. The same length as each other. Here's the back, which motorized wins for because it's actually got the striping detail and other detail other than just the door. I still find it so interesting that they didn't include the striping, which is very weird. And we have the other side. It looks alright. And then the top. Yeah, he's actually is pretty long, the Plarail one. But yeah, that was the Plarail next to the motorized. Now let's put them next to the push along, and this is where things get very strange. So, looking at this, these two are basically the same height as each other. Wow. I was not expecting that. But yeah, this is where your weirdness comes in, because this is the one I plan on using in my series in the future. So it's basically like this Bruno here, but if he was more extended and all squashed. Because honestly, looking at this, they seem to be the exact same height. And if we look at this, yeah, that is literally the exact. Whoa! Whoa! They are literally the same height. What the heck? What? Okay. What? How can they be the same height? Okay, this is blowing my mind. This is blowing my mind. How can this part be around the same height, yet this part ends up getting all squashed? I'm confused now. They could have easily pulled off a push along with this now looking at it and made it not squashed. Like, what? Anyway, push along's got the more details, but they honestly look, these two honestly look pretty similar to each other. Even the color contrast looks pretty similar to each other. But that is so interesting how these are literally the exact same size. They could have, I mean, if you put them next to each other, this one's a bit shorter on this part. So yeah, that's why this bit is a bit squashed. He's also riding a bit lower. But yeah, that was the Plarail next to the push along. And honestly, I still think these two might be slightly better than the Plarail one, but honestly, Plarail didn't do too bad. Plarail didn't do too bad on Bruno. He just looks a little long and squashed. But yeah, that was Plarail Bruno. So now that we looked at all three engines in this pack, what are my final thoughts on this pack? I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. Mainly because I feel like they should have included an extra chassis, or at least made Nia's chassis gray instead of orange, and like kept everyone else's wheels normal. I feel like they should have gave Nia the gray chassis, or at least marketed the gray chassis on the back of the box somewhere, because that way your engines wouldn't have looked as awkward. I honestly feel like Whiff would have looked like the best one with the motorized gray wheels, because then he wouldn't look so awkward in motorized. But yeah, should you pick up this pack? I have no idea. I mean, if you want it to complete your collection or something, like then I'd say get it. I got this mainly for the Bruno and kind of the Whiff, because I kind of liked how he looked. But yeah, honestly, I hope these two get single releases, because I kind of want to see them be motorized and not look as awkward. I'm honestly not even sure if Bruno will get a motorized. Like, he might get a singular release, but I know Whiff is definitely getting a single release at some point. I honestly want these two to get single releases. But anyway, that was the 3-pack, and now let's see them running around some tracks, shall we? Actually, one more thing before we get to the run. So, if you probably remember, back in the day, Tomy would make these big things. And they also had a gear on their back wheel. The reason for this is so they could climb the very steep slope that they had in their playsets and cross certain bridges and stuff. Not only am I going to test Nia on normal Plarail tracks, but I'm also going to test her on that big slope ramp. I mean, these things are different sized gears, so I have no idea if this is going to work. But looking at this, they seem to be the same distance out from the wheel. They seem to be spaced out the same amount of distance from the wheel. Like, what I mean by that is they seem to be pulled out from the wheel about the same sort of distance. So it might work on the ramp, but we'll see, since this thing sticks out way further than this. But we'll give Nia a general run around normal tracks, and then we'll test her on the big ramp. So that was the main run. Now let's test Nia to see if she works on the dark blue slope rail. Alright, I got the slope set up, I got the track, and I've got Nia ready to go. Let's see if she works climbing up this hill. Oh, she's slipping. Oh, it doesn't seem to work. And I think I know why. So, as you can see, as Nia comes up, her back wheel ends up falling into the crevice of the gear area instead of lining up with the gear tread. So her wheel doesn't so the gear actually doesn't touch the gear treads, meaning she doesn't even have the gear hit this. So it's basically not even touching. But if I shift it over just a slight nudge, the gear is actually the same size as the old dark blue gear. So theoretically, it would be able to climb it if the gear actually made it into the hole. And I think another factor would have helped if she had it on both sides. And I think, I might be wrong though, I think the Thomas that came with the loop set actually had the cog on both sides of the wheel. I might be wrong though, it might just be the prototypes. Just as a double test, I'm gonna test Nia by herself without the cargo, see if she can do it by herself. When she can do it by herself, she just can't do it hauling loads. So it's basically like the play sets. She works on the big slope all by herself, just not with cargo. But look at that, it's compatible. Yeah, pretty much the only reason she made it up by herself is because without the extra weight she could make it. But yeah, that gear does not even ride the teeth, because here's the teeth, and the gear isn't even riding those teeth. So yeah, the only reason she made it up by herself is because she wasn't hauling any weight. But yeah, there's your answer. But yeah, that was the review and run of the Plarail Nia, Whiff, and Bruno 3-car set. I don't even know if that's the right name, but I know the first part is Nia, Whiff, Bruno. But yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this unexpected review, but this is HunterTube saying thanks for watching, bye for now, and I promise the next video will be the layout evolution video.